Hello everyone, this is Sibbe Bladh. Tonight I would like to touch a subject which has been heavily misused and misunderstood. Partly because it was made to a commercial business, something that certain companies and people and movements and cultures thrive on and live on. And partly because it's not very common. And when people get this, many times they become afraid. They think that something is wrong because they feel something inside that is so fantastically different and so very strong, so very mighty inside, that it's clear to the person that this is not normal. And in the West we don't have any experience from spiritual enlightenment in that way. It's not a part of our culture. So we think that we have become sick or something is wrong with us. Or we become very religious. We call it salvation. The first stages of this power is referred to as being saved within Christianity, that Christ have saved you. So of course the priest, they know that this is an internal natural process, and now they want to capitalize on that and make profit from that and snare you. So they say that it's Jesus that you feel inside. But what you feel inside is your own natural Kundalini energy that rises within you. This is the spiritual power, the current of divine energy that moves inside of man. Kundalini has been made to a very mystic concept, something very strange and mysterious in the West, while in fact it's a very natural, common, ordinary thing that is supposed to happen to the human. this power is connected with life itself and how life grow within man. We notice it early. It starts to move about when we reach maturity, like sexual maturity, around those ages. Then the power rise to the first chakra, and we start to get desires and feelings that makes us feel very special, very excited, exalted. And this is really the first stages of Kundalini, or the serpent power, as it's called. So, when we have our first relations as teenagers, we realize the sexual, and we feel the sexual, and we connect with a partner. And this is really the first experience of Kundalini energy that we have in our body. That's why it's sad when they distort sexual relations and trick youths with this sex culture and pornography and all this. It's very sad because it takes them away from the real power that connects to their sexual connection within their soul and love. So the sex drive is the first thing that hit the human, that is supernatural. Then the power climbed to the stomach, and this is when people get a bit angry, trying to take their place in the world and go against the parents and go against society and other people, and they learn how to be powerful in the physical world. And from that stage it goes up to the heart chakra, and this is when the human feel love for the first time in their life. The first time they feel love is when the Kundalini force has entered the heart region, and it's fully manifesting in the person's whole soul, so to say, in its whole spirit and being, is filled with this grace, with this light, with this love. And then of course this keeps on ascending through the spine in the body, point by point, until you reach the highest crown chakra, and you live in a super consciousness. Your crown chakra is constantly open, flowing light, taking in and out light. And in this stage you become a medium. You can connect with the spirit world, with the gods, with the powers. And this has been described in many traditions. In the Nordic tradition it's called Gandr. That means staff. But staff is also mentioned in the Bible. In the Psalm 23 it said that thy rod and staff is with me, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, meaning human physical existence. But this rod now is not a rod of tree or iron. This is the inner tree of life, the Yggdrasil, the spine and the nervous system in the human creature that is elevated. Gandr, Jormungandr, that is the Midgard serpent. This is symbolized by a serpent that eats his own tail. also known as Ouroboros, and other names. And this is from the first stages in the Muladhara chakra, when it's coiled. The Kundalini force haven't opened and start climbing in the body. The serpent power hasn't started climbing in the structure yet. And it also symbolizes the worldliness. It's said that this serpent entails the world. But Thor, the electromagnetic energy, which is the whole spirit world, from the core of the earth until the outer spheres, is an electromagnetical field. This is Thor. And by this energy we can symbolically kill the Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, and we can fish it up, meaning that we can rise the power in our structure. And this is done with the help of Thor. Thor is the energy that open up your inner enlightenment process. And this is also the staff that the vulva, the seeress, the witches, the magical female creatures of the Norse mythology, they were staff carriers, wand carriers, meaning that they were enlightened and had magical power. Again, this was not physical wands. It might have been this magic wand, but not walking sticks. This is symbolic for the inner wand. So these people had realized their full potential, their full inner serpent power, Kundalini energy, and became a magical creature. Because this means that you have traversed all the stages of human existence and you have transcended them and become something greater, something more powerful, which is actually the meaning of life too. We are here to produce energy. We're here to produce this power. And this power will make us more mighty in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is, like I said, the electromagnetic field that goes from inside the earth and through all living things. It animates all life, and the individual souls travel on these energy grids on its journey. That's why it's a serious problem that the modern society has connected so much electromagnetic smog, so much disturbancy. This is dangerous for the function of life. It might disturb the spirit heavily when a person dies. Maybe the journey back to the spirit world is going to be very hard because of all these disturbing energy grids. Maybe the spirit can be sucked in to the computers, to the grid work, to the unnatural grid work. This is not that science have reached yet, so we don't know. But knowing that the electromagnetical sphere is the spirit world, and that most technology are connected to this, that is frightening. The whole world is turning to a robot from a natural life machine, a spirit machine, it's turning to something that can be controlled and programmed. So it's very serious situation we have. But from the suns flow this energy, and it's a set of energies with a special number of them, how many there are, and these together form physical life, planets. Made out of the dust, small stones that start whirling in the power and building on more and more until a planet is formed. And then the energies shape and mold the planet. Like you can see, frequencies have patterns. So these frequencies take form after their energetical patterns, and making out the grid network that we call life, and that we are a part of too. We're growing on this tree, so to say, on this magical tree, on the spirit world. That's why the spirit world was so very important, always have been, and it will always be for any kind of natural creature. Of course, robots and computers, they don't care. You might connect robot and man, computer and man, and maybe it's even possible to create computers that create life force. But I don't think so. I think the spirit have to grow through the flesh and bone creatures. That's why the system was created like it is by nature. Nature is divine, and nature made this system to function. So this is the ultimate machine. Any parts of the system, like the humans, we cannot calculate a smarter system than the actual what's created all of this. And we are part of that. Our energy is a part of that. And that's why the energy moves through the human being, through life, from the first stages of teenage love. It's the same kind of strength and feeling from the first time you fall in love, from the heart and from the throat. We start speaking the truth, and then finally when it reaches your head, it's the same orgasmic, joyous, unbelievably feel good feeling. That's how it feels. It's the same vibration and the same, it touches as deep as that, and it feels the same way. When the power moves from your throat up to the third eye, it feels like an orgasm in your head that is going on for months. Some people, this can go on for years, but that is too much for a human to carry, so they burn out the circuits, they burn the nerve system. We're not made to carry this power that long time without burning up or dying or disappearing, because this is outer world, it's too big for us. And any period of this high Kundalini stages is followed up by a dark night of the soul, it's called. A period of darkness, which is really only the void, is the absence of the holy power. And suddenly this feels like a total emptiness that consumes you and makes you feel depressed. Even though you was able to carry it before the light. But now the light is like the worst drug you ever tried. It's said that love is a drug, and Love is the Kundalini power when it's in the heart chakra level. So this force is like a drug. It makes us addicted, and we have withdrawal symptoms heavily. We're abstinent, and we feel like shit, and this is called the dark night of the soul. So this is the price you pay for every level of elevation, of illumination. There's a price to pay in form of darkness. But the darkness settles and you start to rise again. And now every level that you have reached, you're going to stay there. You're never going to retreat or go back from this. It's no retrograde motion, it's forward motion, and every level that has been open remain open. The process can stop, but it cannot be reversed. So a person that has reached those levels, they are to be considered as an enlightened person, even though they don't walk in a constant Kundalini buzz. But they have a potential to any time connect with spirits or energies, or their own energy can rise from zero to top quickly, occasionally, or if they want to. If they allow themselves to feel love, it's going to flow like never before, because it's open. They're not spiritual virgins. The portal is open in them. So that's important to remember, because in the New Age they have a fake concept that enlightened gurus, they shine and they get more and more powerful, and it's not really the case if you check it. Sadly, many of the big masters, they have burned out, faded away and died too early in their lives. Osho, Yogananda, even this guy in Stockholm, Khan, a Swedish Kundalini yogi, he fell down in the deepest darkness and took drugs and had an overdose and died. So the more light, the more heavily you pay the price in darkness. So you should not have an idealized view on this by the fake New Agers. And of course, if you feel good physically, you can shine. You don't have to be enlightened. I mean, a 12-year-old can shine if you give them the right food and they have soft skin and whatever. Humans shine by themselves. Cells are full with power and life, divine light, you know. So all living creatures shine. It is in the unnatural stage we don't shine, and then this becomes something unique, something that we should worship. So this has been quite confused. And also the way we live stop these energies in man. The food we eat, the thoughts we think, the love we miss, the connection we miss out, this cool down and block the natural enlightenment energy in the human. So this is also problematic. We can think too much, and that becomes an blockage. But when the power is activated, it doesn't matter what you think or do. The power is stronger than anything in the human system. So it's just that you have to come over a certain level. But most people, they get stuck in the love level, because mostly love has a lot of problems in this time, you know. And it never really fulfills. It never really give us the fruit that we need. It becomes something else, and most of us fail on that stage, on the anahata, the heart level. We fail with that stage. Only a higher faith, a real faith. That's why many religious people and people with big faith, they get this power because they love, and then they put faith on the love, and that opens up to higher. But if you don't love and you're skeptic and you the neighbor is a hunter, if you wonder who shot, then you will stop yourself. This is voluntarily to open up to the highest power. That have to be done. You have to do that yourself, purposely. And that's why I say a good mantra is to say I love. To tell the people that it's important to you that you love them. You love them. I love you. That's a good key for the inner light to rise. Because when you whisper that you love and that it's open your heart in a certain way. And that is needed for this to happen. You need love to have faith. And faith will open up to the higher. Most people that get this, they long for God, for an external God. Because the illusion shows us that God is external. Those who from the start look for their own ego, their inner thing, they probably won't find it. We have to start with a belief in the gods, in God, in something outside ourselves. To seek that, to attract that power, to connect with that. Because then we will trick our own inner mind and soul to actually activate. And from that point you find your own power. And you realize that all the divine energy that you have felt was emanating from yourself, from your soul. And from the spirit world that lives through everything. And like I said before, the spirit world is our God, is Thor. This is the symbol of Thor. This is all life. This is the whole spirit world, the whole electromagnetic spectra. So, love connects you to that. Faith, enlightenment, illumination, and full realization connect you with a Thor. And who is Thor's father is Odin. So Odin is he's the father of the spiritual world. And the boss, he's God. He's for us the highest. But we can go, this is the male side of our faith. There is a great female from the mead of poetry, the kingdom of the dead, rebirth, reincarnation. All that is controlled by female power entities, energies. So we mustn't get caught in the monotheistic view of an almighty father. But it's there, and we just call him Father. He's the highest spirit, the creator of the whole spiritual kingdom, the spiritual world that moves through physical worlds. So that's why it's important for us. But thought is basic. The T form is basic. There is no connection with the highest God if you don't go through the electromagnetic sphere of the spiritual world and reincarnate through all energies and knowledge and forces within this system. There is not a chance to meet the highest power or the highest spirit, or become the highest spirit. And this is what the Kundalini is there for, the Gandhar. The Kundalini is said to be two serpents that moves inside, the Ida and the Pingala. And these revolve around each other until they reach the top, where there's a full activation between left and right hemisphere in the brain. One could argue that this is the Nidhugger and the Midgard serpent in the Norse mythology. It's a bit unclear because it's very mystic. We have to turn back to the Vedas and the mystery schools and get a more clear view of this. But it's not the mystery that it has made out to be. This is completely normal to reach enlightenment. And it moves in life through the stages in the body. In the Luxor temple, the temple of man, or the Dundura temple complex, there is a whole temple dedicated to the stages of Kundalini within the human creature. And the pharaoh is the symbol for the human. So each room represents a certain age in the pharaoh's life, and what power he holds at this age, what he's interested in, and what his task and mission is on earth in each stage. So this the ancestors studied this very carefully. It's not such a mystery as it has made out to be. It became a mystery as we lost the knowledge about this. But it's completely normal. The thing why it's become unnormal is because it's been shut off. In the Norse mythology we have a saga that says that the dwarfs, the evil dwarfs, they took the Kvasir. Kvasir is a mix between all the gods. Symbolically is their spit in the tail. But this is symbolical for their energy frequency. And all this together is called the Kvasir. And it's from this essence that the mead of poetry, the salvation, the ambrosia, the enlightenment fluid in man come. And it said the dwarfs, they stole this, so the Kvasir, the god of wisdom, wasn't available in Midgard, in the physical world anymore. And this is when enlightenment become peculiar, mystic and special. I read somewhere it's about 1-2% that get this. And that would mean like 78 million people on earth have reached this. And 98% don't reach this. And frankly are quite aggressive against people who had this. They're afraid of this. One woman I know, her brother got it. And she said, "Oh, I have to stop it. He's flying, he's too high." So that scares them, that they don't want that certain of us become too high. Everybody must be the same in the collectivist mind, in their template. There can be no special people, no special talents and no special powers, no special persons or no privileges whatsoever. Of course, comes from socialism, political ideas that was circulating in the Western world. has nothing to do with reality, because one and one will reach enlightenment. If not in this life, it will come. That is the purpose of this whole mission of living through a physical world. So it will come sooner or later, at some age, in some body, in some reincarnation. Everybody will reach this. And we're all workers for this power. We work, but it's the physical work. We keep the world tidy, high function, strong, everything working perfectly smooth in nature to facilitate the growth of this power. That is what everybody is dealing with, even though that we have become confused now and we live in illusion. So we have we're hypnotized. We don't think about this like the ancients did. Their societies was built around this process of accumulating spiritual power. But our society is more superficial and lost. So people don't understand the purpose of physical existence. But ultimately everybody is working for this system. For spirits to thrive and power to be formed and produced. And that once and once reach the ultimate liberation and fuse with the power and become a higher force, a god, or whatever one ascend to. So that is a short guide for Kundalini. Possibly I will make a longer one with more facts and listen to some of the masters of this discipline, what they have to say about it, and what the ancient scriptures say, and some parables and comparisons, and a lot can be said. I make these talks, like you see, I don't read something, I just take from my mind, I just, quick philosophy, not deep, very unpretentious, unprepared. But it's a great subject, and I'm writing on a book, and when you're writing you automatically learn a lot, because you're going through subjects all the time and connect to your story, and the longer the story, the more knowledge you have gained. So I will come back to this subject, be sure of that. Alright everybody, take care, bless.